everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at BrickCan in Vancouver, Canada, and I'm in the middle of the Great Ball Contraption layout here at BrickCan. So each of the builders are going to take us through their section here. So I've got the first builder right here if you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll start in.
I'm John Sherman from Everett, Washington, and I have about 17 modules here today that made the cut at least.
The ones that survived so far.
We won't look at the ones under the table. But the first module I have here is my ball run. One of my older and favorite modules. It's really easy to set up and get going, and when it's filled with balls, it looks great. So after that is the sweep stair. Actually, the second module I ever built. Also a very reliable one. And then go into my version of the Brick World ball pump. Next to that is my newest module, which I've named Ball Thingy. It was based on a module that had a French name, and when I tried to translate it on Google, it came out as Ball Thingy. So I liked it. So that's what we're sticking with that. It doesn't sound as elegant as it does.
Something was lost in translation a little bit there.
Yeah, something there, but it still works. So, then we have the ball pusher. One of my favorite modules because it's just mesmerizing. And then we work into 4-bar, followed by 4-bar 2 of all things. So, the 4-bar is the most useful mechanism in the world, and we have them all over our modules, so even when we don't acknowledge it. Then my oldest module, which is the zigzag stair, after the last convention, I've completely rebuilt the base and the sides of this one. So the only thing that's actually original now are the 4 moving bits. But it's been reinforced and re-geared to come off of Kevin Mitchum's common power standard that it originally started on. So now it has its own motor, which can be switched from side to side with no problem. So then we have Escapade, one of my favorite modules because it lifts, and then I have that S-ramp coming off of it. So that's one of my bypass modules that I can use. I always put the bad modules right after it because the S-ramp makes it easy to pull things out.
It's flexible.
Then we go into my drawbridge. I built this so we could have gaps in the table and not have to crawl under. It actually will recirculate if I lift it up. It has kind of a recirculation loop down in it. And then when it goes back down, it should... So today it's just being used as a long bypass to get back down to this end, a simple chain lift, some adjustable ramps, and then I have this second line here starting with Bob's Buckets, this is the second show I've had that at, and it even has a Bob figure, official Bob Day figure on it.
The official sponsorship there.
Right, and that's what it was named for, because Bob was the guy who gave me the actual buckets. So, following that is my version of the Sawyer scissor lift, which is probably one of the most complex modules I have. It's got like 3 chained 4-bar mechanisms in it, but it's running pretty well right now, so we're happy with that. And then into a chain lift bypass that just gets us some length. And then my last module, which is up and over, which is my big bucket lift. This is the one that can move the most balls at any one time. So. And after that, we move over into Matt Norman's modules.
Thank you so much. We'll keep moving down. So if you want to introduce yourself and take us through your section.
Hey guys, I'm Matt from thegreatballpit.com, and these are my modules here at BrickCan 2019. First up is my EV3 ball counter. Unfortunately, last night I left the brick on, so when I came in this morning, it had no power. I replaced the batteries, but the program was erased, so we've lost track of the count.
Oh no!
But we were averaging about 3,700 balls every 2 hours, so a little bit slower than the standard, but I'm gonna fix it up for tomorrow. Next up, we move into Solaire. You've seen this before. It's just a rotating pusher using a skateboard ramp. And then new for 2019 is a module I'm calling the Throne. You can guess what it's modeled after. It's getting a great reaction from the crowd. People are lots of yelling and taking photos of this module. It uses the really old snowboard corner piece, and that was kind of tricky to find. I had to make multiple orders to find 4 of them.
You don't see those pieces very often incorporated in a build.
No, I haven't seen them in any GBC. I've seen the blue ones before, but I haven't seen the white corner pieces yet. So you can see it's using the actual lift mechanism is a BrickWorld 2018 ball pump that I modified. It's very reliable, and it's been solid the whole show. I just had to make a few tweaks at the beginning, but it's running great now. After the throne, we move into one of my tall Technic conveyors, and that's just feeding the balls into a ski jump. And the ski jump is dumping into my Gray Lime Excel module, which you may have seen before. And the balls, they take a lap back into the module, and then they will go out of the module. And that's thanks to this gravity-fed switch I made here. After the Gray Lime XL module, we move into another BrickWorld 2018, which I've modified with a turntable top so you can swivel the output a bit easier. And from there, we're moving into my line of shared power modules.
And real quick, before we move on, we got to mention the awesome crane here as well.
Oh, thanks. Yes, I got the rough terrain crane on sale, and I'm like, I need to incorporate it into my GBC. I thought I would hang up a cool GBC sign. In the future, I'm maybe hoping to have it suspend part of a bypass or a bridge, but we'll see what happens. It was really fun to build.
Awesome. I love the lettering there, yeah.
Thank you. So here's my shared power modules. I call it the Shared Power Circus because it's led by Jumbo, the elephant at the end here, which is a small conveyor. Just behind Jumbo, though, or sorry, in front of Jumbo is a kind of a push arm type module. I call it Whirligig. And in front of that was the actual push arm GBC that I call DROP, which is the dark red olive pusher. So Jumbo throws his balls into a nice module I'm calling Ronald. You guys might like the color scheme of it, I don't know. I thought it was a great use of the old yellow and red gears here.
Yes, I like the brick you've incorporated on top there as well.
Oh, thanks. From Ronald, we are going to move into a module designed by an Australian builder named Rick Field. This is his REF03 module, which I've skinned in a Benny's space theme, and I'm calling it Spaceballs the Contraption. From Spaceballs the Contraption, we move into another BrickWorld 2018 ball pump that I've sat the BB-8 model you can get at the Lego store, and the balls are just traveling up through him and coming out the top.
Is that difficult to incorporate a build like that around the module?
In the previous year, a year ago, I actually built the ball pump inside the module, but it was very unreliable, so I just gutted it. This model, the kind of just the size just kind of come off, so it's got a hollow cavity inside, so you're able to just kind of sit them on top of a ball pump, and yeah, it's working pretty good now. From there, we're moving down this nice clear ramp into what I'm calling the Jade Dragon. It's a small conveyor that I've converted into a module with the Green Dragon set from Lego. You might have seen that in the Ninjago set. And that's spitting balls out into my reservoir. From the reservoir, you're going into a GBC ramps module, which was an old BrickWorld workshop module, which I've skinned in the Minecraft theme. And that goes into Chicken Pump, which is another BrickWorld 2018 module that I've just changed into a Minecraft chicken laying eggs. Kids seem to get a kick out of that one. From there, we move into another reservoir-style stepper that I call Matt's Mine. And it's just a triple stepper, very simple, and it's great to just hold a lot of balls if we need to stop the layout downstream. And those are my modules, and I'll hand you off to Kevin now.
Thank you. I love the creative skins and designs on some of your modules. They're very good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And if you want to introduce yourself, and what do you have for us?
I'm Kevin Mitchum, and I don't think I actually have anything new since BrickCan, but these are all the ones that are selected because they actually work.
Very important part.
As well as you can say about any ball contraptions. This is my little blue ball runner here, which separates out the Zamper spheres and recirculates those. It always gets lots of little AFOLs a double take when they see the Zamper spheres rotating through. Then we step into the large push arm module. I call it Push It Real Good.
How does that separation work real quick, like with the pieces set up so that it doesn't move on?
Well, the Zamper spheres are just a little bit larger than ball contraption balls, and on this ramp here, the lift arms are separating out so that the proper balls will fall through, but the Zamper spheres can't. Sometimes the balls will roll up on one of the lift arms and recirculate, but then they're shy. They don't want to go on to the next module. They feel comfortable. We're okay accommodating the balls that don't want to move around as much.
Okay.
But then we spill out into the push arm here, which has been running very well. It's really a module this simple is hard to break, but I don't want to give it any challenges. Then we come on to the Sidewinder here, which has got the little Darth Maul visitor from the standing build earlier. And that's been running also very well. It still will spill the occasional ball, but it doesn't jam. And jams are, of course, what you really want to avoid. And then we come into a very small lift wheel. This was inspired by the Ball Pits build contest, where you had to build something on a 16 by 16 base plate. And I built something for the contest and ran it at Brick's Cascade, where you might not have seen it on the video because it died. And this is the rebuild that hopefully isn't failing. And then we come along to the slow and steady Christmas module here, which, because we're running in the correct direction, you're not going to see nearly so much of Santa, but maybe from the camera angle you can pick him up there. And that's been running slow and steady throughout the whole weekend, so thankfully I think it is the slowest module on the table, so we frequently get backups here, but it clears them, so eventually that's fine.
The Christmas theme is very nice. You don't often see that in GBC modules.
Well, once again, I have to give credit to my wife for that. We had a mock at the C-Lug meeting one year. They had a Christmas theme, and of course I'm going to bring a ball contraption. And so I handed her my wife, there's a Christmas theme, so she made it all pretty. I chose wisely. And then we have the smallest possible ball contraption, which doesn't technically fit the standard because it will overflow at 30. But, if I just put it downstream and somebody doesn't give it 30, you're all set. Having the right friends is always the way to go through life. Then we have, I don't even know what I call this blue one here. That's very closely inspired from a Thomas Mueller module from several years ago. But I don't think he brings his around, so I get all the credit for it. And then we have the simple conveyor belt, which is also the power station. The last couple of modules have all been on the same drive shaft. This is Alex Popiel, also for that same contest I said the ball pit had. This is his 16 by 16, almost entirely. I've done some extra work on the output feed because you got to do something to make it your own. But it's been running super reliably. And then we have my ball pump, which I think is the oldest. Actually, I think it is the oldest module on this entire table, so it's special for some reason. And that's been running surprisingly good. It had a problem during Friends and Family, but since then it's been running the second slowest module on the table, but still going along nicely, and it pumps the balls out very nicely. Then I will hand you over to the next gentleman with things here.
Fantastic, thank you.
Hey guys, my section starts with this module called Hogan. I've been on the forum with Matt and his crew, and a lot of people are into making instructions, so this is me starting to make instructions available and so forth. That moves on back into a ball pump, which is actually not mine. But I'm using it to bridge the gap. I've started to do these little cards up at the front here, which have some FAQs. And on the back of this card is us working out the dimensions of the table using the fence, because the fence is 16 studs long. So we could use that to measure the table.
The fence is the often overlooked part of GBC that's still very important.
Yeah, some would say one of the most important parts. So this is my mini golf. It's been seen a few times before now. But it's a classic, and it's going on a bit of a tour this year. I'm up here at BrickCan. Very fortunately, I'm going to be down at Bricks by the Bay this year. Also Brick World Chicago back again. Brick Fair Virginia, Brick Fair New Jersey.
It's going on the whole countrywide tour.
Yeah, really taking around the country this year because, a lot of people see it on YouTube, but people still enjoy seeing it in person, so that's really cool.
And I believe it was at Brick World Chicago that we recorded a more in-depth video with you on just this, so if people want to check that out, definitely make sure to look for that video.
Yeah, absolutely, that was, its first real outing. So the only real change, I think, is I'm trying out my new V2 putter design, which was back on the first hole, and Boba Fett's wrestling the alligator at the front here. That came in the goodie bag for BrickCan, so that's made its way onto the golf course.
They were very generous with the white Boba Fetts this year.
I to be honest, I really don't understand how rare it is, but it sounds like it's. So they said tear it open. I said, all right, I'll tear it open. So that works its way around to the windmill course. We're running clockwise. The fan on it will I can change the direction depending on the tables. Because some cons it wants to run anti-clockwise, and that's how it doesn't jam. But this con it's clockwise. So then I'm going to hand you over to Dave with the next set of modules.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave DeGoby. These are some of my GBC modules. Starting first with a simple old Technic tread conveyor belt. That's an old and tested design since 2005 that I've been using it for. Into a little filler ramp. Then we have Emily built her very first ramp, and it's been working really well, so that's always good to hear for your first GBC. Tony Hafner built these two ones here. This is his first, and this is his second. This is a really interesting one because it has a kind of it still kind of goes through even if it jams a little bit, so we like that. Here I've got a shared power wheel. So this uses the same system that Kevin Mitchum and Alex use as well. This one can convert from either 32 or 16 modules by adjusting the ramp. And then we go into one of Matt's workshop modules, which I put a little jungle theme on. And then here it goes into my bridge, my spiral cheese bridge. And as they go up using telescopes, up, and then over top here. And I've got a big thing that I like to see the ball, so I don't like to have it super encased. It's not as much fun if it can't potentially fall off. And then as it gets over the Technic superstructure, we come down to my cheese spiral. And you guys might have seen this at BrickCan, but I've made it bigger. And it's been running really well today, so that's nice and always good to hear that it hasn't jammed, especially on camera.
We always like it when they cooperate for the video.
Yeah, we do. And then, then we come back here to the end and we get back into John's.
Great. Well, it's a fantastic layout. Do you know how many modules are in the whole thing? Have you guys counted yet?
Around 57 modules, okay. About 7 builders. We're running about 3,600 an hour. Takes 11 minutes to run a lap, and main countries are Canada, US, and Australia.
Awesome. Well, I hope it keeps running well for you guys. It's a great layout here at BrickCan, so thank you so much for everyone who took us through it. Appreciate it.